Greetings train lovers! Today we will be taking a look at the game called Rolling Line and discussing why it is a scale train modeler's wet dream, so stick around if you're a scale model train aficionado or do you just like trains like me. Rolling Line is a game that came out on Steam yesterday for the PC and VR and is developed and published by Punk Games. Rolling Line lets you take control of a huge, detailed modeled railroad in virtual reality on PC and build, organize and drive trains in human scale, or alternatively explore the whole model as a miniature on the set. The entire railway draws inspiration from the South Island of New Zealand and comprises of several different areas. All areas, however, fit within the large workroom and is cleverly positioned in the middle of the room, while the outer bench space is semi-prepared for you to experiment with your own creations. While I do not own a VR gear, HTC Vive or Oculus, I wanted to test and see if this game is viable to play as a PC only, and it sure does. What most impressed me with Rolling Line is the sheer scale of the center model, as well as tiny details which give the game the feel of the real scale train model and bring me back to my childhood where I had a small H0 model railroad on a table in the room of my granny's apartment. Rolling Line has many things going for it, from the wonderfully modeled trains and scenery to the fact that you can control virtually anything. Either drive locomotives from a human scale by picking up the controller and setting the speed, flipping the switches and whatnot, or pick the wagons with your hand and just throwing them around for kicks. As if that was not enough, you can teleport yourself anywhere in the world, yes, even in the cabin of a locomotive, and experience driving from the perspective of the miniature. Yes, you can in fact become the part of the model and appreciate the view from a whole new perspective. If you choose to go creative, Rolling Line's got you covered. On the outer part of the room you can find semi-assembled track pieces which lack some scenery and some love, making it an ideal place for you to open the table drawer, select the track and scenery pieces and start building. I just love the fact that the building stuff was put in the table drawer. It really sells the whole scale train model experience. The train can be picked up with hands and assembled as you see fit by putting them on track and pushing the wagons towards each other. According to some VR reviewers, which I had to check as I do not own the VR, the controls in the VR are intuitive, which is something that I can also confirm on the PC, as shortly after playing the initial tutorial I was able to go around the room, play with the trains and assemble the tracks to my heart's content. Did I mention that you also have control over the time of the day and weather? In the central part of the room you can have several gauges and set the scene. I had quite a bit of fun with Rolling Line. It's the tiny details that makes this game. The trains sound the horn as they approach the tunnel, the road crossing signals sound the bell on the approaching trains, and the sound of the train brakes is ever present as you decelerate. In addition, you have a control over the switchboards that you can find on the side of the table, which let you flip the switches, although I could never find the correct one. Thankfully, you can operate the switches on the model itself. Despite the little bit simplified graphics, the detail model is good enough and runs like a dream on my now already antiquated GTX 780. However, to fully enjoy everything Rolling Line has to offer, you should have a beefier graphics card like the GTX 980 at the minimum and the HTC Vive or an Oculus Rift. The sounds are quite good, which really sold the experience for me. Regardless if you're a train scale model nut or just like trains like me, you will find Rolling Line fun and engaging. Just be careful on the hardware requirements if you want to play on the VR. After having enjoyed the Rolling Line, given that it costs €13.99, at least in Europe, price tag, which is a very reasonable value proposition, I can give this game a solid 8 out of the 10 for the PC version. Thank you very much for watching, and do leave a like if you have liked the review, and I will see you all in the next one.